Investigation begins into Morobe Provincial Funds. Police to take legal action against contractors. And Jiwaka mothers want end to all forms of violence.
This is National EMTV News with Morobe Tulo.
A very good evening. Thank you for joining us for Monday's news. The chairman of an investigation team looking into money owed by the Morobe Provincial Government to contractors has announced the start of the probe. Former Judge Don Sawong today said the investigation will only be looking at claims and not spending over the past years. The acting provincial administrator, Sheila Harrow, was the first person called in to talk to the investigation team.
Morobe's acting provincial administrator was the first person called in to give evidence to the investigation team headed by former Judge Don Sawong. Over the next 3 months, various officers, including those from the Finance Division, will be called in to answer questions related to the 44 million kina allegedly owed to various contractors.
This is not an investigation similar to a commission of inquiry. By the very nature of the investigation, it does not call or receive sworn evidence. We investigate, we ask some questions. Those are not sworn evidence. They are merely questions seeking to clarify things.
While the investigation team has some powers to probe into the financial affairs of the provincial government, Chairman Don Sawong says they don't have powers to summon anyone to attend.
44 million kina is a lot of money in anyone's terms. But it's not a 44 million kina in 1 year. It's been carried over for a number of over many years.
Also, the team won't be looking into the provincial government's expenditure over the last 5 years. Morobe Governor Ginson Saonu, when announcing the decision to conduct investigations, admitted that the provincial government's accounts were not in good shape. It's a problem neglected over many years. Many outside the provincial government hope that this investigation will answer a lot of questions, including the most important: how did the Morobe provincial government come to owe contractors more than 40 million kina in unpaid bills? Scott Waide, National EMTV News, Lae.
Police Commissioner Gary Baki says the RPNGC will take legal action against building contractors who are delaying police housing projects. The Bumbu Police Barracks in Lae is one of these housing project areas where houses are yet to be completed.
Construction on these houses in Lae's Bumbu Police Barracks has been delayed for 6 years. The houses have nearly been completed, however, contractors stopped work early this year. A representative from the construction company refused to speak on camera but said they have not been paid. The contractors started building these houses in 2012 under the Bumbu Police Barracks housing program. This was done to ease housing problems faced by the police. The project cost 2.5 million kina and was supposed to be completed in 2014. Police Commissioner Gary Baki dismissed claims made by contractors that they were not being paid.
We've spent a lot of money paying contractors, and they are obligated to ensure that the barracks is completed, so they have failed us in a lot of ways.
The police will take legal action against paid contractors who have not completed these housing projects.
I've given directions for our people in headquarters to look at which of the contractors that we pay them to complete our accommodations, and they have not. We will instigate legal proceedings against that.
Lucy Kupana, National EMTV News, Lae.
Police Commissioner Gary Baki has defended the use of hired vehicles by Lae's Sector Response Unit. Police operations often fail due to the limited resources. After launching of the unit in April this year, issues were quickly attended to by police. The vehicles are costing an average of 800 kina a day. A submission for government to buy vehicles for police is still pending.
On the road. Police resource in Lae is lacking to a stage where it's practically nil. I have to make a decision to support the Metropolitan Command, and I stand by the decision to support him in ensuring that Lae is provided the support that is needed from the police. And as far as I'm concerned, the response unit in Lae is doing a lot of things for the people of Lae. Okay, at the citizen, the population in Lae, and yes, the police department does not have a lot of police resources available. We have this. This is an arrangement we've entered into and it's an arrangement that is guided by also an agreement that when we terminate, we will terminate. But as it is at the moment, I support what is happening at the moment in terms of the utilization of this vehicle, and I'm the person that will make the decision. When I say we will have to pull back, we will pull back. At the moment, they will have to continue to be deployed to support police in lane, and they will do so.
Mothers from Jiwaka province have petitioned the provincial government and their 3 MPs to help in reducing all forms of violence in the province. The women held their first ever 3-day forum to discuss issues affecting women and children each day. The gesture was timely as there are recent reports of deaths as a result of gender-based violence and sorcery-related killings in Papua New Guinea.
The issues and demands the women presented to the provincial government last Friday are to end violence in homes and communities and achieve equality and participation of integral human development. The mothers want to end sorcery-related violence and the killing of women and the beliefs of magic and sorcery in Jiwaka. An advocate, Lily Besoe, said people in Jiwaka, like other parts of PNG, blame sorcery as the cause of the deaths and illnesses. The majority of victims are women who are tortured by mobs and chased out of their own villages.
This is an enduring belief in the Jiwaka province, which is causing a lot of disharmony and destabilization in our homes and in our communities. People who are accused of sorcery, they carry their brain with them into schools and in everywhere.
Lily said over 60% of mothers who visited her Voice for Change office are victims of polygamy marriages. There is disharmony at home between the wives. Another issue raised is the bride price ceremony, which is seen as a major contributing factor to domestic violence. The mothers also petitioned the government to check the uncontrolled increasing number of liquor outlets in the province, which they see as a fuel to the violence. The Jiwaka Deputy Administrator received the petition and encouraged young women to be sure of men before marrying them.
Culture does not let me problem. We will never address this problem now and then we will find the answer today. There is no answer to this problem.
The mothers are calling on the provincial government to honor and commit to ending violence against women. They are demanding the establishment of a family and sexual violence unit at all the police stations in the province, saying it must be fully funded. The women are also calling for an increase in resources for service providers like counseling, legal and health stations in the rural areas where mothers can visit and get the support.
This like issue they are turning to drugs now. This like issue and by stop yet. Na mibla all mama, all pinini, all man bla mibla, only kiss him all this la, only gambe all fight him mibla, only make him no good la mibla.
The Jiwaka mothers also called for a change to the Sorcery Act and fund rehabilitation centers. Vasanata Yama, National EMTV News, Mount Hagen.
Here with National EMTV News, we'll have more stories after these messages. Stay tuned. Welcome back to National EMTV News. Suspended NCD Metropolitan Superintendent Ben Turi has been requested to present himself to police for questioning regarding legal detention of an Asian businessman and local immigration officials. In a statement released from the commander of the NCD and Central Division, Sylvester Kalaut, the suspended Metsup was accused of illegally entering a room where the businessman was and locked him up at the Gerhu police station. Police alleged that the businessman was in PNG without a proper visa. However, the suspended Metsup told EMTV News he was acting on a national court order to arrest the man and questioned why the matter was pursued 1 year and 4 months after its alleged date of occurrence. Turi denied the allegations and says he will not go in for questioning. Copies of the court order were presented to National EMTV News. Immigration and Border Security Minister Petrus Thomas says the PNG government was not consulted on the bringing in of 42 Fijians to work as security guards in Manus. Minister Thomas said the new contractor, Paladin Solution, failed to discuss this arrangement with PNG Immigration and Citizenship Authority.
A statement released from the minister's office reveals that 31 employees of Paladin Solutions were refused entry at the Jacksons International Airport. The 31 staff upon arrival had failed to provide visas to travel to Manus.
The local security companies that providing security to the facilities in Manus, and they're doing exceptionally well. And I don't see there's any reason for us to bring a foreign security guard. And also the security services are the work that's reserved for nationals, which nationals need to participate in as a local content. So I don't see any reason for us to bring Fijian in.
The company will now be responsible to ensure necessary documents are submitted to PNG authorities. The closure of the detention center would mean that Australian authorities would withdraw health services from the Lorengau General Hospital, and they are threatening to also stop supplying food and water to the 600-plus refugees come Tuesday, 31st October. However, the refugees' lawyer, Ben Lomai, is expected to make an urgent application in the Supreme Court to delay the transfer of the refugees. This move has also created a lot of concerns on security issues in Manus Province.
So there shouldn't be any issues in terms of security. But the only issue that will rise is when the current contractors, we have a new contract already in place, that's Paladin and NKW. If they change the status quo, that might trigger certain security issues and certain issues locally, because we have the...
Meanwhile, police in Manus are making preparations to transfer over 600 genuine and non-genuine refugees from the regional processing center in Lombrum to East Lorengau tomorrow. Tekla Gunga, National EMTV News.
The Fred Hollows Eye Clinic in Madang is appealing to the public and thugs who broke into the clinic last Thursday and who stole 2 pieces of vital equipment to return them. Finance and Administration Manager Agnes Moore says the equipment cost 3,000 kina each and will be of no use to the thugs and those who intend to buy them. A number of armed men broke into the clinic's main door and stole the equipment. Patients have been affected because the clinic was closed on Friday. It will be opened tomorrow. Meanwhile, Madang police have been informed and are investigating.
Just something only broke in my clinic, some just eye equipment this is something in clinic mid now. All patients come now, all nurse also looking.
With 2019 set for Bougainville's referendum, many communities are continuing to reconcile. The people of Hagogohe constituency in the autonomous region of Bougainville have reconciled, ending disagreements of the civil war and declared a weapon-free community. The reconciliation began with an ecumenical church gathering. Member for Hagogohe constituency, Robert Hamal Sawa, has thanked the conflicting parties who have vowed to unite.
The reconciliation ceremony began this morning with the celebration of the Holy Eucharist, presided by Bishop of the Bougainville Catholic Diocese, Bernard Nabali. Faithful gathered at St. Pius Gogohe Parish as an act of reconciliation. In his homily, Bishop Bernard emphasized that Jesus Christ is the true meaning of reconciliation. And today, scripture was on the law of love. Love the Lord with all your heart, mind and soul, and love your neighbor as you love yourself.
No plan will eat us all, yeah? Meet us all. So let me pass you give him out, you give him on God. Now surrender him go on God, not on Narabno. Now ask him forgiveness. At the heart of reconciliation is Jesus Christ with you.
Bishop Bernard said as 2019 looms, Bougainvilleans must continue to unite. In Boca, Fabian Hakelitz, National EMTV News.
Mining Minister Johnson Tuka has concluded his first visit to Oktedi Mine in Western Province. His visit is the first under the PNG Mines Familiarization and Visitation Program. Minister Tuke and Secretary for Mineral Policy and Geohazard Management, Harry Kore, were taken on a tour of the mine's operations by OTML Managing Director Peter Graham and Deputy CEO Moshe Wera. Since the start of operations in 1984, OTML has extracted 4.65 million tons of copper, 30.2 million ounces of silver, and 14.3 million ounces of gold. In 2016, OTML paid a total dividend of $47 million, 150 million kina to the government of Papua New Guinea, in addition to paying a total of 3.3% to the national GDP and a profit after tax of $121 million, equivalent to 338 million kina. And now a look at the finance news. The kina closed unchanged at $0.3115 in the interbank market. At Bank South Pacific, your kina was buying $0.304, $0.3923 Australian dollars, $0.2584 euro, and 34.21 Japanese yen. Looking at commodity prices at New York close, gold is trading higher, coffee is trading higher as well, cocoa trading lower, and copper closed the day higher. Palm oil closed higher as well as crude oil, copper closed lower. And on the stock markets, the Dow Jones closed 33 points higher, the ASX 15 points higher, and the All Ordinaries 14 points higher. Here with National MTV News, we'll have more stories after these messages. Don't go away. Welcome back to National MTV News. Over 30 members from the 3 disciplinary forces have commenced training on how to manage public order come APEC 2018. The Public Order Management Tactical Training qualifying course will be conducted within 3 weeks, beginning with theory lessons. Deputy Police Commissioner Jim Andrews opened the training in Port Moresby today.
This is an APEC capacity training that involves the police, correctional services and the defense force. 10 officers are from RPNGC, while 3 are from both the CS and defense. The training is designed to control crowd during unexpected unrest in a public area.
The Commissioner and the management believe that this public order management tactical units will be able to counteract on any situation that will arise during the APEC in terms of public order management.
Representing the PNGDF commanding officer of the 1st Royal Pacific Islands Regiment, Lieutenant Colonel Boniface Aruma, said it is a positive step towards APEC security preparations. CS Deputy Commissioner for Corporate Service Stefan Pokanis explains that traditionally CS members are supposed to look after the welfare of prisoners. However, by law, they are members of the disciplinary force. Thus, it has given them the opportunity to participate in security operations in the country. That includes the national elections and 2018 APEC Summit. So far, the Australian Police and Defence Force have assisted its PNG counterparts in preparing for what will be the biggest joint security operation in the history for PNG.
Facilities that we saw just a while ago and others that have been put up. The purchase of vehicles and the motorbikes and boats and all these vehicles that go towards the operations of the police security operations for the APEC.
The theory lessons began today after the training was officially announced open by DCP Jim Andrews. Tekla Gunga, National MTV News.
St. Charles Luanga Secondary School in Port Moresby has graduated its first grade 12s today. The school was praised for its discipline, where in its short history, it has produced students with exceptional results in the national examinations. International Training Institute also took the opportunity to surprise the school by presenting 2 scholarship awards for both male and female students for their certificate courses.
St.
Charles Luanga Secondary School graduated 105 of its first batch of grade 12 students today, of which 65 were girls. This group of students are the first group of grade 10s for the school, which had topped the country in 2015 in their grade 10 national exams. Member for Mosby Northwest, Mekere Murauta, who delivered the keynote speech, praised the students and the school for its discipline and high achievements.
Today's graduation sets a history for Charles Luanga. You are at the centerpiece of this history-making occasion, being the first graduates from Charles Luanga. Congratulations to you all and to the school, and may this be the first of many to come.
The students were presented with certificates and awards from 12 different academic subjects. Overall, Matthew Hauko got the top prize for science subjects, while Michaeline Giovadulu and Sarah Jane Mowat received top prizes in social science and business studies respectively. In the meantime, International Training Institute presented 2 students with ITI scholarships for 2018 for certificate courses in accounting, human resource, business and sales, and information communication technology. The scholarship was given to the students based on their grades.
For 2018 goes to Mark Rex. And Louisa Kia.
Marketing manager Sammy Rose, who presented the award, said the scholarship is a one-year program where students can choose to take the courses in the evenings or either of the 2 semesters next year. Rose said the scholarship is part of the institution's social obligation to give 300,000 worth of scholarships to national high schools and secondary schools for 2018. Stacey Yallo, National EMTV News.
The National Department of Health has developed the Health Workforce Enhancement Plan 2013 to 2018 to address the critical decline in health worker numbers. Health Secretary Pasco Kase says the enhancement plan calls for a major increase in training and enrollment at all health training institutions in the country.
The plan is projected that between 2013 and 2018, an estimated 450 new nurses and 1,000 community health workers must be trained along with other health workers. The Health Workforce Enhancement Plan was developed over the current National Health Plan of 2011 to 2020 after the World Bank reported in 2011 that there was serious implication for critical decline in the number of nurses and CHWs in PNG.
As a strategy to address the critical health workforce shortages.
Mr. Kase says the National Health Plan and Vision 2050 of better access to quality health services will not be achieved unless the national government addresses basic primary health care services in the 89 districts. He said the health workforce training for the frontline service delivering is a high priority for the government and the health department, as over 80% of PNG live in villages.
It is only you who will uphold your professional image as a nurse. It is you who will either add value or devalue the image of yourself and the nursing profession.
Kase says the immediate need is to replace the aging workforce and training of critical workforce to help implement the priority programs in the health sector. Kase told the 13 graduates of the Enga School of Nursing recently that the implementation of the plan depends on people like them who graduated to serve the people in the rural parts of PNG.
When you display commitment and discipline to serving and putting a smile on the faces of people who are in need, you will truly understand the meaning of nursing.
The National Department of Health is now working on a rural and remote health workers retention guideline. Kase said these should attract and retain frontline health workers in the rural and remote areas to serve the rural majority. Vasinata Yama, National EMTV News, Mount Hagen.
Turning overseas now, the first criminal charges have been filed after investigations into Russia's involvement in the 2016 US presidential election. Overnight, it was confirmed that Special Counsel Robert Mueller's team has begun proceeding It's expected that arrests could come as early as tomorrow.
At the White House, Russian roulette. Sources tell ABC News the first arrest in the Russia investigation is coming as soon as tomorrow. But we don't yet know who will be charged or what the charges will be.
Believe me, if you're the person, you know. I mean, you've already been told you're a target.
ABC News has confirmed that a senior prosecutor from Robert Mueller's office, who specializes in fraud cases, was at the federal courthouse in Washington Friday. Sources tell ABC News the grand jury has approved charges. There's no shortage of members of Trump's inner circle who have faced questions about their dealings with Russians, and there could be others we haven't heard of before. The president's men are pushing back.
Give me a break, okay? Look, the speculation is so insane right now. What we should be focusing on are the continued lies of the Clinton administration.
Trump advisor Roger Stone tweeted obscenities at CNN when they broke the news. Twitter promptly suspended him.
The whole Russian thing was an excuse for the Democrats losing the election, and it turns out to be just one excuse.
Now the president, once again, is calling this a sideshow, tweeting all of this Russia talk right when the Republicans are making their big push for historic tax cuts and reform. Is this coincidental? Not. But the White House lawyer handling the Russia probe quickly clarified the president's comments today are unrelated to the activities of the special counsel with whom he continues to cooperate. Today, the ranking member of the House Intelligence Committee would not comment on whether the president could be a target of the investigation.
I can't comment on that, George. I can't answer that one way or the other.
Hundreds of thousands of people have rallied in Barcelona in support of a united Spain. It follows the Spanish government's decision to take direct control of Catalonia after regional leaders voted to declare independence last week. Catalonia's leader, Charles Puigdemont, was also stripped of power, and those back in Spain say he should just go to jail.
Catalonia's pro-Spain movement is emerging from its recent quiet. These are the people who want to stay inside Spain. They make up around half the population of this region, and they insist that they are both Catalan and Spanish.
And you're Catalan?
I am Catalan from my grandparents are Catalan, my parents are Catalan,
my family is
and I'm Catalan and Spaniard and European.
So you don't want to leave?
I don't want to leave at all.
Catalonia is Spain, these kids write. This crowd celebrates the government's sacking of Catalonia's pro-independence authorities. For the first time in 4 decades, this region is being ruled directly by Madrid.
I'm Catalan, 100% Catalan. I live in Madrid and I came just to demonstrate and to please keep together with Spain.
Jail to Carles Puigdemont, the sacked Catalan leader, the crowd chants. Put him in prison, this woman tells me. Put away all the pro-independence politicians.
He has to go to prison because he's like a dictator.
We will vote, chants the crowd. Local Catalan elections will take place in December. An opportunity for this side to pick leaders who want to stay with Spain.
You're watching National EMTV News. We'll have some sporting updates next in Trukai Sports. Stay tuned.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome to Trukai Sports. Papua New Guinea, Fiji and New Zealand all got their Rugby League World Cup 2017 campaigns off to flying starts over the weekend. The Kumul slaughtered Wales 50-6 in Port Moresby. The Kiwis overcame an emotionally charged Samoa 38-8 in Auckland, and Fiji thrashed USA 58-12 in Townsville.
To our country for this World Cup.
The matches followed Australia's 18-4 win over England last Friday in the World Cup opener, was watched by millions of viewers worldwide on the 7 network and various local TV stations.
He's going to win the game for the Australians. James Graham, what a chase!
In Papua New Guinea, PNG captain David Mead and back rower Rhys Martin set new try scoring and point scoring marks to spearhead the Kumals to their biggest win ever in a World Cup match, beating Wales 50-6 in Port Moresby. The Wayne Bennett coach side, England, may have to qualify for the Rugby League World Cup final for Sam Burgess to play again in the tournament, while Australian lock Jake Trbojevic has been ruled out after suffering a torn pectoral muscle.
To make the tackle with Hill.
The current pool standings now see Australia and Tonga topping pools A and B, while the Melanesian neighbours in Papua New Guinea and Fiji leading pools C and D respectively. Shane Saroya, National EMTV Sports.
Still on the Rugby World Cup, Tonga's highly weighted debut in the tournament did not disappoint with an emphatic win over Scotland in Cairns.
Mate Ma'a had the crowd on their feet before kick-off with a fierce rendition of their Sipitau haka. When the match did get underway, the most talked-about player of the competition, Jason Taumalolo, was unstoppable. The Cowboy star completing 197 metres, 19 tackles and crashing over for a try.
Avili, Taumalolo, he'll get over, and he got it down.
The Bravehearts no match for the Pacific Islanders, going down 50 points to 4. Meanwhile, across the ditch, Tongan fans sparked up wild celebrations on the streets of Otahuhu in Auckland after their side's World Cup opening blitz. Police attended the impromptu street party, which brought traffic to a standstill, and are asking fans to celebrate more responsibly in the future.
And we'll have more of Trukai Sports after these messages. Don't go away.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome back to Trukai Sports. To cricket now. Cricket PNG has joined forces with Pacific International Hospital in partnership with the Lila Foundation to drive the message of curing avoidable blindness in the country. At the launch of this partnership today, CPNG made known that the national senior cricket teams, the Barramundis and the Lewas, will be at the forefront of this battle against curable blindness, and one of their main roles is advocacy.
When a ball is coming at you on the pitch or across the field, no matter how skillful or fit you are, you will have to see it coming in order to react. Likewise, a good eyesight is very important for everyone in their everyday lives. Speaking at the launch, PIH ophthalmologist Dr. Amina Sultan said this year's rapid assessment of blindness survey revealed that 5.6% of Papua New Guinea's middle-aged population is blind, and that is the highest prevalent rate in the region.
And we will be doing outreach cataract surgeries as well. So having one of the young cricketers present, to talk about the importance of sight will be, I think, make it easier to get the message across than just the doctors doing that.
Echoing Dr. Sultan's message, Cricket PNG chairperson Helen McIndoe said the national cricketers will be utilized in spreading the awareness and the education of the importance of eye checkups, and early detection of abnormalities in the eye is always the best way to tackle avoidable blindness.
It's not just in Port Moresby. Get the message out there, television, and have everyone realise that it is important to get your eyes checked.
As the first step of the fight against curable blindness, the national cricketers underwent numerous eye checks today. In the coming months, the cricketers will join PRH and Lila Foundation during the community outreaches, as well as promoting the cause during the games.
Yeah, I think cricketers will be great ambassadors for this.
Dinero Straiko, National EMTV Sports.
To an update on the PNG Games, Team Central has dropped their levies from 500 kina to 100 kina for students and 200 kina for non-students. The Games is less than a month away and the team will be participating in 17 codes. There are a total of 276 athletes and team officials, which includes 266 athletes and officials and 10 general team management. Team Central General Team Manager Trevor Tararao urged all participating team members to pay as soon as possible. Moving on to Rugby Union, the All Blacks have been passing some of their secrets to a bunch of young English players today as they take on the Northern Hemisphere time zone ahead of their 5-match tour.
Out of the mist, step rugby royalty, surprising and unsuspecting touch tournament to offer each team a bit of advice. The players turning on the dance moves as much as the rugby moves. Ngani Lamape was last in London in 2010 for a first 15 tour for school. He never dreamed he'd be back, let alone as an All Black.
I don't think I'll end up coming back, but coming here today is pretty exciting.
He's hoping he'll be named to play in this weekend's Barbarians clash against a team with a bunch of Kiwi players in it, including Julian Savia. But
if I get to play and I see Jules running, I'll be running the other way. Now, I've seen what he did in the final, and yeah, I don't want to be on this highlight reel.
A footy that they play, which is razzle, running rugby, so it should be a game to be fun to be a part of, but then again, it's always hard to play those sort of sides. So come Saturday, I think there'll be a lot of bruised bodies out there.
Rico Ioane debuted this time last year on the Northern Tour. Today he reflected on how far he's come.
I've got a bit more game time under my belt, so yeah, definitely growing in confidence. I'm just looking to have fun and hopefully keep playing some good footy and keep growing my game.
He can add inspiring future rugby stars to that list.
Rico Ioane, like seeing him there, definitely my favourite player at the moment. He's got great feet, great strength as well.
Attributes which will hopefully help the ABs write their names on more rugby titles.
To the Spring Racing Carnival, the Melbourne Cup is just 8 days away and the excitement is in the air. Today it was at Flemington.
We're in the popular park precinct here at Flemington. It was so successful last year, they've brought it back this year. It's loosely modelled on the Australian Open's outdoor area, and there are plenty of distractions if you need a break from the horse racing. There are well-known restaurants and bars serving here, but you'll probably notice these Italian nonnas before all else. This group has been a choir for 20 years now, and they are here promoting Lavazza coffee.
Everything we do with a love. No money.
I love your work. I think it's great.
Thank you very much. You are the great.
The Cup Carnival starts with Derby Day this Saturday, then it's the Melbourne Cup, Oaks Day, then Stakes Day to finish off the weekend after next.
You come from Europe, you just hear about it, and when you're here and feel the upcoming hype, yeah, have you experienced anything else like that?
As always, fashion takes centre stage, quite literally today.
Amy Victoria Derby Day is known as the monochrome day, so black and white, maybe some greys as well, but try and stick to it.
And we should find out later this week if the famous mare Winx will race again in this year's Spring Carnival.
And that ends Trukai Sports. We'll be back with the weather details for Tuesday. Stay tuned.
Trukai Sports. Trukai Sports.
The weather details are proudly brought to you by Dulux Weather Shield, with doing with Dulux.
A look at the weather forecast for the next 24 hours in the southern region. Mostly fine in Port Moresby and Daru. Light rain expected in Kerma. Fine becoming cloudy for Alotau. A shower or two for Popondetta. To the Momase region, rain and showers expected in Leh, rain in Wau, thundery showers in Madang, showers with cloudy weather in Wewak, rain with cloudy weather in Vanimo. To the New Guinea Islands region, thundery rain expected in Kokopo, Rabaul, Kavieng and Lorengau, a few showers in Kimbe, cloudy weather with some rain in Buka. And in the Highlands region, Mount Hagen, Goroka, Kundiawa, Mendi and Wabeg, all these major centres can expect rain with morning fog.
The weather details are proudly brought to you by Dulux Weather Shield, with doing with Dulux.
Before we go, it's 5 more days to the next Kumul's match against Ireland and tickets are already selling fast. Currently, tickets for the Northern and Southern Wings have all been sold out, while East and West Wings are still selling. East Wing tickets are going at 50 kina per head and 80 kina for the West Wing, while grandstand tickets have all been sold out. Fans are travelling in from other centres as well to purchase tickets. Brianville Plaza is the ticketing agent for those wishing to purchase tickets for Sunday's match. And that's the way it is this Monday, the 30th of October 2017. On behalf of the EMTV News team, pleasant viewing. Good night.